We're
Mm.
talking about kids, young innocent girls who were trafficked, and it's not about displeasure; it's about ruining people's lives, isn't it? And they're certainly not going to get closure because Epstein is dead.
Could Prince Andrew find a route back to public life? Reports at the weekend suggest he's considering a legal bid to overturn his multi-million-pound settlement with Virginia Giuffre. She sued him for sexual abuse. One crucial piece of evidence is a photograph that appears to show Prince Andrew with his arm around Virginia Giuffre. Well, in an exclusive interview on TalkTV, his former friend Ghislaine Maxwell has spoken from jail to say she doesn't believe the photo is genuine either.
It's a fake. I don't believe that. I don't believe it's real for a second. In fact, I'm sure it's not. There's never been an original. And further, there's no photograph. And I've only ever seen a photocopy of it.
Maxwell is serving 20 years in a US jail for luring young girls to massage rooms for Jeffrey Epstein between 1994 and 2004. She says that she doesn't recognise the person she's portrayed as in the media.
I feel completely divorced from the person that people reference and talk about and all the various newspaper articles and TV shows and podcasts.
You can watch the whole exclusive interview with Ghislaine Maxwell at 7 o'clock this evening with Jeremy Kyle on Talk TV and Talk Radio. We can speak to Jeremy now. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. This is quite the interview to get. How did this interview come about?
I mean, Ghislaine's had a relationship with Daphne Barak, for a well-known investigative journalist in the States, for many, many years. And I think when it landed on our desks, I think we understood the importance of it. I'd like to say, yes, it is a TV exclusive. I think it's very, very important that we understand primarily that actually in all of this, there's no apology for the victims, and they are the people. I mean, she's a convicted sex trafficker who's in jail. She talks about feeling, she wishes she'd never met Epstein. She talks about that photo. It's fake. It is an insight into probably one of the most notorious prisoners. But it, of course, over the weekend, this story has evolved. Prince Andrew now considering legal action against Virginia Roberts. Many people feel that he was, bounced into settling too quickly, with the Queen being, in the later stages of her life. He now, they say, is considering restarting that. Tomorrow night, we're going to do this a week. We have Alan Dershowitz, who's Epstein's lawyer. And tonight, actually, Vicky Ward, who started the story, and Lisa Bloom, who represented many of Epstein's victims. I think for the royal family, it's a seminal moment again. More buffeting, really, after Spare and Harry. I mean, Andrew, is he going to try it? Why is she talking out now? An awful lot. And of course, most people would be saying, was it a cover-up? Who are the big names? Did she take the rap? She talks about the Queen. She talks about Clinton. She talks about an awful lot. And yeah, it's fascinating, but we must remember throughout the whole thing, it's about the victims.
Well, absolutely. And you say that there's no apology there. She was asked about her victims. Let's just hear, Jeremy, what she said.
Epstein died, and they should take their disappointment and upset out on the authorities that allowed that to happen. And that, as I said, I hope that they have some closure by the judicial process that took place.
Goodness me. What do you make of what she has to say about the victims?
I mean, their disappointment and their displeasure. We're talking about kids, young innocent girls who were trafficked, and it's not about displeasure, it's about ruining people's lives, isn't it? And they're certainly not going to get closure because Epstein is dead. I think she was accused of helping him abuse and traffic, and was found guilty. And this is not about none of this is about any sympathy for Ghislaine Maxwell. It's just the interesting thing here is so many things seem to be happening at the same time. But you make an absolutely excellent point, the right point. There was no apology throughout it. You would imagine she would have been, in effect, somewhat more humble. I don't know whether she feels wronged. I mean, I don't think she or Prince Andrew get it, to be honest. I mean, there's no conflict between it. I don't think she gets it. I don't think he gets it. I think he's desperate to return to royal duties. I mean, let's not forget, though, and let's give both sides to the argument. Virginia Giuffre, née Roberts, also accused Alan Dershowitz, who was Epstein's lawyer. And when he stood up to Giuffre, she dropped it, which of course has added fuel to Andrew's fire. But I don't know about you guys, but I don't understand why you would admit to something like that, or even pay that out, whether your mother was seriously ill or your brother was haranguing you. And the other thing that's really significant today is we hear that King Charles is supportive, his sources, supportive of Andrew's legal U-turn. What does that tell you? Does that say that, I don't know, that there's so much intrigue with all of it? But I think it's fascinating, because I think a lot of people would understandably want to know how deeper this really goes.
Yes.
And as I say, video and phone calls over the last month, it is fascinating, but and compelling, but it is also important throughout to remember the victims of heinous crime, really, to be honest.
Jeremy, thank you for that. That's Jeremy Kyle, of course. So the full exclusive interview with Ghislaine Maxwell will air on Jeremy Kyle Live at 7 o'clock tonight on TalkTV and Talk Radio.